Get some Phil Collins on in here because honestly, I've been waiting for this moment for all of my life. And I know you have too. You have it. You have higher aspirations in life? No, I'm fine. No, it's okay. It's okay. Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here today, and we have a massive Starfield leak to sink our teeth into. Now, is it a massive leak in the terms of trailers, gameplay? It is not. But this is a leak that comes directly from Bethesda, which has never happened before. And then on top of that, it allows us to cross-reference older leaks, confirm those, and dig deeper into the Starfield universe that we know nothing about. So we're talking about potential E3 teases coming up. We're talking about ad time being purchased for Starfield, image leaks, survey leaks. Everything is connecting, and it's all happening directly before E3. So I am hyped. I know a lot of you out there are too. So before we get started, just know that if you're looking for more Starfield information, you're looking for, I don't know, Bethesda content, RPG content, you're in the right place. Sub up, like button helps a lot too. A lot of you have been doing that. Thank you so much. I know it's really annoying. Every YouTuber does it, but it does help boost our videos in the algorithm. So thank you so much. And with that, let's get into the Starfield leak because I know a lot of you are really pumped. So it starts off at, you guessed it, Reddit. Starfield image leak reportedly shared through Bethesda CDN according to a deleted Reddit post, which features a link that is titled Starfield Breaker Background Image.png. The context is that this was posted on the Starfield subreddit, but the OP deleted it for whatever reason. This link was given. If you click on the link right now, it'll bring you to this page here, which says error, not found message. The resource could not be found because Bethesda naturally took it down, but of course, everyone on the internet screen grabbed it. So you can see the image right here that sparked this initial leak. And yeah, it looks like concept art, but as we dig deeper into the link, into the source, and really verify that this comes directly from Bethesda, it shines a lot more of a spotlight on other leaks that have occurred. So with that, let's start confirming. First of all, who is CTF? What's a CDN? What is this gibberish I've never heard of? You may be like me and had no idea, so I think it's really important to start building the blocks of confirmation. So let's start off with CTF. They're contentful. They are a CDN who pretty much serves Bethesda. Now, what's a CDN? A content delivery network. It refers to a group of geographically distributed servers which work together to provide fast delivery of internet content. A CDN allows for the quick transfer of assets needed for loading internet content, including HTML pages, JavaScript files, style sheets, images, and more. So if you pop back to the leaked link that we were all taking a look at that now has the image taken down, it says images.ctfassets.net, referring to contentful. Also, pay close attention to the folder name afterwards, which is RPORU91M20DC. This will be really important later on in the video. For now, just focusing on contentful, let's take a look at Bethesda.net. For those of you who are new here and never really explored much of the internet or don't know much about Bethesda, Bethesda.net is the site that hosts pretty much everything Bethesda. You can kind of put that much together, but that means things like Doom, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Wolfenstein. Every game that they publish, everything that they work on gets a spotlight here on this webpage. It's pretty much their place to put everything Bethesda related. So if you head there, you go ahead and you tip your fedora cap, you take out your magnifying glass, you can right click and hit inspect on their page. And when you do so, you'll notice that the links line up. So you'll have the image.ctfassets.net with the same exact folder of RPORU91M20DC. So the way that these CDNs work is they create a cloud-based folder, and this happens to be the Bethesda one. What's really interesting about this is when you take it a step further, because now we know it's from the same content delivery network who is hosting Bethesda's content. But when you head over to the Starfield page, it gets a lot more interesting because I'm going to throw the image leak on screen one more time, but this time completely unedited. So as you can see here, it's kind of in a 4:3 ratio. It's not fully widescreen. It's not a banner. It's nothing like that. And that's going to be important because when you head over to the Starfield website, you do the same thing, inspect the element, you'll see that highlighting that element, it's that 4:3 ratio once more. Also, once again, is that same exact folder that was shared amongst the Bethesda content, meaning that all of this was a pretty much online Starfield folder, which would explain the older leaks that reportedly came from a Bethesda online server, but had never been confirmed. So this may be a lot to process, I get it, because it took me a couple of revisions of the notes and everything to make sure I delivered to you in just the right way. but pretty much it's important to make sure that we solidify here. This comes from Bethesda. This was a slip on their end, or maybe their CDN's end. And because of that, we can then take a look at these older leaks. So let's just keep going a little bit more, which goes back to the original link that I was talking about. It's called Starfield Breaker Background Image. Heading back to Bethesda Net, you can see that there are titles for Breaker images. They're all the little blocks here that would serve as things that you could click on and bring you to articles on Bethesda Net to learn more about whatever topic that you are interested in. So my prediction here is that we can see through this image leak that this is more concept art, more universal based. It's not actually the game itself. So it got me thinking about maybe this is a dev diary, maybe this is a behind the scenes story, maybe it's some lore. And I would imagine this would make sense for A, a pre-E3 teaser, or B, a post announcement where you have the full reveal and it's like, hey, here's a little bit more about the development of this game, a behind the scenes look at things. I think this makes a lot of sense and it's not coincidental, especially because it's a Breaker image. It means that Bethesda was preparing content to then be revealed to the audience. Like something that's going to be a thumbnail, you'll probably see this as one of them to be able to click on and enter an article on Bethesda Net. So that's kind of the significance of it. Not just the leak itself, which we're going to analyze the image and go into all of its details, but we need to confirm it's from Bethesda itself. So now that we do know that, let's take a look at the leak because there are some pretty cool hints within this image that I think may excite you. So on the bottom left corner of this image, we can see what looks to be a station or maybe a floating city with two moons. You have a red moon at the top left corner, and then you have a standard looking moon, it seems to be on the right side of the city, and you have multiple ships flying in and out of it, so it seems to be some type of starport. We can also see sketches of a spaceship, which I believe is anticipated to be in Starfield, and fret not, we'll be confirming that as well in this video. But next to it is a letter of sorts, a description of something. Juicehead did a great job of translating it to the best of his ability. Obviously, it's incomplete letter, but it says liquid surface, that is craters. It has no, it doesn't have any, and then the last section is pretty tough to read, but liquid surface, that is, and craters likely sounds like it's describing a planet that you can explore in the game. And now, obviously, I don't want to go full speculatus on what that could be because it could literally be anything, but I think it's something that we all anticipate that Starfield will have a lot of space exploration and it'll allow you to land on multiple planets. At least that's what I'm hoping for, right? I'm hoping for something kind of like Mass Effect meets Bethesda Game Studios, and that would be pretty sick. Heading back to the image, you can see a spine of what seems to be a notebook straight down the middle, which I think makes this more likely that this is some type of development document that they are going to share with the public, but also is a code 74573.4, which none of us have been able to figure out what exactly this is tied to, so it'll require a little bit more investigation to figure out if that's a code for something or coordinates. But anyway, what's most significant is this watch right here. This watch, which seems to have this day and night cycle in the middle of it, an O2 meter at the bottom. This will be quite familiar if you've been paying attention to Starfield leaks. Also important is right above it is in text, looks like gravitation. So like I said, that HUD might look a little familiar to you. This is what I said about cross-referencing these leaks. So we know this new leak came directly from Bethesda. We see the similarity in HUD. Now we take a look at the old leaks from Starfield back in September, and we can see on the bottom left corner that this image is pretty much similar to the watch itself. The day-night cycle, the bar at the bottom, it all seems to be legit, and that means that you can kind of take the rest of the image at what it is, which is a legitimate leak. And it had been confirmed that for a decent amount of time that this was a old, about 2018 build for Starfield, but still it allows us to peek a little bit deeper because we go back to Bethesda Net where there's been another leak through a survey. There was an interview on the right side of the screen which says, how much would you say each of the following apply to you? I spend a lot of time creating my character, home, or spaceships. And when you go back to, of course, the image here from the leaks, we can see what looks to be some type of settlement under construction, which I don't know if that's music to anyone's ears. It was something I was a little nervous about because I wasn't against the idea of building in Starfield or any Bethesda Game Studios game. I just don't want it to be the core focus. I don't want to have every mechanic designed around it. I want it to be just its own thing because that's when it's at its strongest. But when you're basing the entire world around it like Fallout 4 did, I think that's when you start to run into some real problems. So I'm not going to get excited about this one, but spaceship customization, I will get pretty excited about. I think that could be awesome to see if they kind of carry some elements from the settlement mode into spaceship crafting of some way, shape, or form. But once again, this comes directly from Bethesda Net, and I don't think that the timing is off here. We're right before E3. We just had a leak slip through. Now a survey question has slipped through, indicating questions about what seemed to be mechanics in the game in the first place. So more and more, it looks like Starfield is getting that E3 reveal date, which I have suggested and reported for about 2 months now on multiple podcasts and videos. Like, they are going to try to release it this year. Once again, I'll say it again. They're going to try to release this game in 2021. Now, this one is a rumor, but I felt like in the vein of all these leaks, we should talk about this one, especially because this is a rumor that I can corroborate. I've heard the same thing from one source, and we'll get into the nature of this one in just a second. So let's read the headline, which also comes from Reddit. It's titled, Microsoft has already purchased ad time for Starfield in 2021. On the Xbox Era podcast, I'm sorry, Ed, I don't know actually how to say the first part of your name. We've talked before. But anyway, he says that he is confident that Starfield will release in 2021 because Microsoft has already purchased advertisement time for sometime this year, most likely in the summer after E3 for a possible November release. This means that they have already anticipated a marketing campaign to take place this year in time for the release of Starfield. He feels like Xbox is very confident it will release in time for the end of the year, but COVID could still be a factor in the delay.
2021 is because Microsoft have already purchased ad time for it for 2021.
Interesting.
So that is why I have always said I think it's 2021, because if you think logically about when they would have bought this ad time, it would have been during the pandemic. So if they're buying ad time for a game to come out in 2021 during the pandemic,
They've already
aware
planned
the
for
pandemic,
the delay.
then obviously they must be aware of something we're not in terms of how far along this game is.
The nature of game development and QA is absolutely screwed right now, where it's really tough to get these games out. So it's not protecting our own ass saying like, hey, it may get delayed. It's just the nature of game development. I'm going to emphasize that time in, time out. But like I said, in the beginning of all this, I can corroborate this report. I'm wondering if we share a source here, because I've only heard it from one source. So there's that potential overlap, which is why I'm not going out of my way to be like, yep, it's for sure when it comes to advertisement. But I would imagine if it's going to be at E3, then advertisement would be just naturally a part of that package. So take that as you will, but it's just something I wanted to add as a capper to this video. But I'm excited, man. I think just Xbox in general has the potential to have a slam dunk of a conference, especially in combination with Bethesda and some of the cool stuff I've been hearing about them. So yeah, really looking forward to all of this, and I hope you are too. Let me know what you think of the latest Starfield leak in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here, both new and old. Appreciate all of you. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all.